Hello, so I'm going to do this video off the cuff. I'm going to answer the question, what can I do to become a significant part of my partner's life and be invited to bed? I'm going to answer that question, and I apologize for my attire. I'm trying to find ways to become more effective and efficient with these videos. I haven't done a video in a while because I've just been incredibly busy. Working on many things, growing a bunch of businesses, but I think I'm just trying to find ways to cut out these videos and answer these questions, of which I've got many, to just put it out there. So I'm going to answer this question. What can I do to best be a significant part of my partner's life and be invited to bed? Here's my number one advice to you, and perhaps I'll continue it in other videos. The number one thing you can do is follow the open love, non-exclusive relationship structure, OLNR. Is that non-exclusive, open love, OLNR format of relationship, of which I propagate, which I'm writing a book about. The OLNR style of relationship is founded on three paramount things, which is absolutely required for your success in relationships, which consists of: you must be the most unconditionally loving person in their life. Let me say that from the start. If you want to become a significant aspect of your partner or someone who you admire's life and be invited to bed, remember that being invited to bed is a byproduct of your being significant in their life. Leaving that alone, for you to become an important aspect and significant part of their life, you must be the most unconditionally loving person in their life. Number two, you must facilitate open communication, the second pillar to OLNR. The third pillar for OLNR is be non-judgmentally accepting. You must become the most unconditionally loving person in their life. You must become the most one who facilitates open communication, and the one who is the most non-judgmentally accepting person in their life. For you, you want to build intimacy with that person. The thing about intimacy is that, remember that intimacy is how well you know the person. With that premise, how well you know the person, you want to become the person who is most intimate with them. And for you to be the most intimate with them, you must become the person that understands them the most. That is what intimacy is. This is the intimacy model. You get to be the person who understands them the most. How do you become the person that understands them the most? You find ways to understand them better. How do you do that? And the way you understand them better is to be openly communicating, meaning facilitating open communication, and being the most non-judgmental person in the world. The enemy of understanding, remember this always, the enemy of understanding is presumption. The thing about presumption is that we are wired to presume. We humans have cognitive biases. As an evolutionary trait, the reason we have cognitive biases is because it's a shortcut. Our bodies want to be as effective and efficient as possible with its energy, with its caloric expenditure. The brain requires so much calories for its operation. And so instead of thinking about so many things, we take shortcuts. This is why we have so many, as humans, so many cognitive biases, one of which is presumption. We just presume things about everything, so we don't have to think about so many things. It's a shortcut, and it's very, very helpful. We also, humans, we remember that we did not evolve to be super high IQ, super intelligent. We only evolved to continue evolving. We merely evolved to pass on our genes. But if you want to thrive in life and thrive in your relationships, then these are things that you want to think about. If you want to become intimate with a person, the enemy of understanding them, which builds intimacy, is presumption. Now, the thing about presumption is that it's helpful. We evolved to do it, but you have to work towards becoming an understanding person, understanding them the most than anybody, being the person I am that's built many different organizations. The thing that most people crave the most, that people do not get, is appreciation. People crave appreciation. If you want to be an incredibly special person in someone's life, be the person that appreciates them. And the way you appreciate them is to understand them. The way you understand them is to, the enemy of understanding is presumption. So how do you understand somebody? You get rid of all your presumptions. Get to know them by asking questions like, how do you feel about this? What do you think about this? These are great lines. These are amazing conversations. What do you think about? How do you feel about? Why do you think that? Why do you feel about it in that way? Ah, very interesting. Talk 80% about them and do your best to refrain about talking about yourself. Maybe spend 20% about yourself. In a dynamic where you're having a conversation with somebody, remember that most people, they're not trained conversationalists. They're not trained in social dynamics, and so they're gonna talk a lot about themselves. Try to refrain about that. Do your best to talk about them when you're conversating with them, and try to learn more about them. Try to get to understand them and their psychology and their demeanors and why they do things. And we'll talk about love and open communication and non-judgmental acceptance. But this is number one thing. The number one thing is make them feel appreciated by getting to know more about them and facilitating non-judgmental acceptance with them, and recognizing that you want to facilitate an environment, a dynamic, a relationship with somebody where they feel that they don't feel that they have to be anyone else when they're with you. Another way of saying that is they feel that they can be themselves completely when they're with you, and they are rewarded with positive affirmation and positive confirmation that, hey, I really can be with them. I really can be myself with them. And I don't feel I'm judged because I don't get emotional punishment or psychological punishment by being myself, by communicating about what I'd like. This is what it is to facilitate open communication. Do you understand? I'll talk more about the other aspects of the pillars of OLNR. If you have any questions, send them to me or put in the comments. Share this video with other people. You'll help make the world a better place for all of us. Bye.